What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Sports with Jake. Hope we're doing well. So, not tons to cover today. Just a bunch of random stuff I'm going to cover today. It's just the collection of topics today is I find to be very random. Starting off with Bruce Pearl, a longtime Auburn college basketball coach, is stepping down. He's retiring effective immediately. His son, Stephen Pearl, who's already on the staff, is getting promoted to head coach. Originally, it was going to be looked like he was going to be the interim coach, maybe for the year or so. But he ended up getting a 5-year deal. So Stephen Pearl is now the full-time head coach of the Auburn Tigers basketball program. I get the 5-year deal. So salute to Bruce Pearl. His college basketball career is over. He was liked him or hated him. I know he's had some controversial stuff he said over the years. Or he was thinking about maybe running for Senate at one point. And then he has said that he's not going to do that. High energy, was a very good coach. Overall, had a great career, and congratulations on a great career to Bruce Pearl. More basketball, this time heading to the NBA. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets guard, is going to miss the entire season, it looks like, with a torn ACL. This is a really tough loss for the Houston Rockets. They just re-signed him 2 years, I think $50 million, or $25 million a year. It was pretty solid last year, averaged 14 points a game and 5 assists. Shot 37% from 3, 34 from the field, 81% from the line. Getting a little bit older, he is going to be 32 at some point during this season. But as a guy who's a good player, very good perimeter defender, decent scorer, can shoot a little bit, just an overall solid floor general. Good vet to have on a team that's got a lot of young pieces, a lot of good playoff experience. He was a big part of that Toronto Raptors championship team in 2019. I think he was the sixth man. He had that big game in Game 6 in the finals in 2019 against Golden State. Very good player, and he was going to be their starting point guard. So losing him is a blow. Hurts their depth a little bit. Now you think, all right, maybe is Amen Thompson running the point, so they just their rotations, whatever their projected rotations were, obviously now have to change. So that's a tough loss for the Houston Rockets. Fred VanVleet looks like he will miss the rest of the year with a torn ACL. Behind the football, first of all, college football, Oklahoma State fires Mike Gundy after a long tenure at Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy had a great career. He was in year 21 at Oklahoma State. He was 170 and 90 over 20 plus seasons. Oklahoma State was 12 and 6 in bowl games. So he was in a bowl game in 18 of his first 20 years. The only years he did not make a bowl game were his first season in 2005 and last year. Part of the reason that being fought, I would assume, they've been really bad lately. 2023, 2 years ago, had a great year. They were 10-4. They were in the Texas Bowl. They pick up a win. At one point, I think they ranked 16th in the country that year. But last year they were dreadful. They went 3-9, and they sort of 1-2 this year, so they decided to make a change. They've lost 11 straight FBS games. They've only won 4. He's 4. They've lost 11 of their last 15 games overall. All 11 work as an FBS team, so 11 straight FBS losses. Anybody they've played literally these last season and a quarter or so, they have lost. So changing Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy's cost somewhere to Bruce Pearl, bit controversial, very extravagant, liked him or hated him. He had a great career. He was at Oklahoma State for a long time. He did it his way. He had 10 or more wins, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 times throughout his career. Oklahoma State finished in the top 10 twice, and including being ranked 3rd in 2011. They won the Fiesta Bowl that year. Overall, very good career, and congratulations to Mike Gundy on a great career. Unfortunately, though, he is being let go. I do wonder if his career is over. He is obviously an older guy. He was at Oklahoma State 21 years, but he was coach of the year into 2011. He was Big 12. Was named Big 12 Coach of the Year 3 times. But his career for now is over. We'll see if someone picks him up next year. Some hires him next year, but he's out at Oklahoma State. And the last thing I want to cover today, and we're really the only other main thing. Oh, before we do that, no, I have 2 things to cover. But also the Giants just signed Young Kudo to their practice squad. The Falcons the last few years as their kicker signed him to their practice squad. Graham Goodnow, obviously he's kind of kicking through an injury right now. You saw remember last year when they basically didn't have a kicker for a game because Dable didn't promote a kicker from the practice squad in time or something like that. It was a really mishandled situation. But Young Ku has been, I assume if Gino is still necked up, they'll promote him and he'll kick for against the Chargers on Sunday. But speaking of a Giants game against the Chargers this coming Sunday, the Giants have benched Russell Wilson and they are turning to rookie Jackson Dart. He will make his NFL debut this week against the Los Angeles Chargers. Dart was, of course, a first-round pick. Giants trade back into the first round. I think it was, pick 24, something like that, and draft the quarterback out of Ole Miss. He had a strong camp, had a strong preseason. They've used him here and there for read option a couple of times through the first 3 games, but hasn't actually thrown a pass yet. He will get his first start against the Los Angeles Chargers. This seems a bit of a desperate move for Brian Daboll. Obviously, after winning Coach of the Year in his first year, 3 straight really bad years, or 2 straight really bad years for Brian Daboll and the Giants. They were really bad last year. Won 3 or 4 games last year. You ended up, with the 3rd pick, and you look really bad this year. You're 0-3. You have a brutal schedule the rest of the way. The Chargers are a good team who you get this week. You still have to play Philadelphia twice. You have another game with Washington. You have Green Bay later in the season. So it is a tough schedule, and even their easy games. The Saints is a game that's obviously very winnable. The Saints are really, really very, very bad. But the Bears are not a good team, but probably better than the Giants. The 49ers, even, I don't think, especially with their injuries, aren't a great team, but certainly better than the Giants. So this is a team that went 3-14 or 4-13 last year. It seems like it's going to be a tough road to even 5 wins this year. For I think I mentioned yesterday, they're staring 1-7, 1-8, 2-8, 2-9 in the face right now. So I think it's a little early to start Jackson Dart. It's a tough game for him in there against the Chargers. They have one of the best defenses in all of football. They're a very good team. They're playing very well. They're 3-0. It's tough for me, a tough game to win. I would have waited till next week, week 5 against the Saints. The Saints are probably the worst team in the NFL, probably the worst defense in the NFL. Playing very a little bit easier him, playing in a dome against a dreadful team. I think that is in New Orleans. If so, not the easiest place to play. However, it's not. It's a little bit close to where he's from. He went. Not where he's from, but he plays college football at Ole Miss in Mississippi. New Orleans is in Louisiana. That's a little further down south, but the weather's still gonna be warm in LA if they are on the road. But I forgot their home or what. I think they're home against the Chargers. But it just would have been a little bit smoother. Granted, he's gonna have to play some tough teams this year if he's gonna start the rest of the year. Green Bay might have the best defense in the league. You play them later on. So this is Philadelphia's defense is so good. You have to play them twice. The Washington defense, it wasn't great, but they didn't look. Giants offense looked very bad against them in week 1. You have to play them one more time. So the only true easy game. The Bears defense doesn't look good right now. You play them. The Saints next week, and then the Niners defense isn't great. They have a bunch of injuries, including, of course, Nick Bosa, their top pass rusher, is out for the year, tore up ACL on Sunday, unfortunately. But I think this is a little bit early. I would have waited at least another week. If not, wait till the season's really, really over. When you are sitting at 2-8, 2-9, really let him sit and learn. He can only sat for 3 games, but Maybe something like Drake May, where he sits for 4 or 5 games last year to start the season. Patriots play really bad. They're kind of, bad as expected. Then you throw him in there with no expectations. He goes out there, overall plays pretty well, doesn't win a lot of games, but overall shows some flashes. And after the year, they got him a real system and they tried to get him some real pieces. Although the Patriots haven't, looked great so far, May has played well. Could be something like that for Jackson Dart. But it's definitely Dable's just trying to save his job and probably his staff job and the front office job. Joe Shane will go with Dable if Dable gets fired as well. He's done a good job drafting. He deserves to go as well. I don't think he's saving his job. I don't see how he only seems like a lame duck. I don't see how his team wins more than 5 games. I don't think 5-12 will be enough for him to keep his job. I cannot imagine. I guess he wins a playoff game in year one, but then 3 straight really bad years, 6 wins or less years. It's going to be tough for him to keep his job. But Jackson Dart will make his NFL debut this Sunday against Los Angeles Chargers. Last thing I want to cover today is it's been announced that the ABS system, the automatic balls and strike system, will be coming to Major League Baseball full-time next season in 2026. It's been tested out in the minor leagues the last couple of years. They even tested out in the All-Star game this year. They tested out in spring training prior to the season starting. The spring training games in MLB. The feedback was relatively positive. I think 69% of people were polled, were in favor of the league eventually going ahead with this, trying it out in spring training. Someone like 69 or 61%. So they're going to go ahead with it. At first, I was very much against this. But as the years gone on, I've become kind of the flip side in favor of this. These Major League Baseball umpire have just gotten really, really bad. The strike zone's gotten really inconsistent over the years, and it's not really fair to the players. So I do think this is the right move. Full breakdown of it that I have pulled up here. So each team is going to get 2 challenges a game to start the game. When the game goes into extra innings, if they have a challenge left, going into the 10th inning, they will keep it. And even if they use it in that 10th inning, and the game goes into 11th inning, they will get it back once again, so on and so forth. If they keep it, if they don't use the challenge, they don't get an extra one, but they just still have one going in. Each extra inning, they'll have exactly one, and it'll be used in both the regular season and the postseason. The batter, the pitcher, or the catcher can challenge a call. The manager is not allowed, or anybody else. No other fielder, no coach can do it. It's got to be the batter for the offensive team, for the team in the field. It's got to be either pitcher or the catcher. Of course, the signs you saw in spring training was you tap the top of your head. The review is basically like you see in tennis. It cuts to this big screen. It shows exactly where the pitch was, and then if it shows it was a strike, it was a strike. If not, it's a ball. If a team makes a challenge and they are wrong, they do lose their challenge. Or if a call is overturned, they do not lose the challenge. So that is how it works. I really wish that it was I would probably do it. I like 2 per game. You can't be doing this every other pitch. 2 per game. If they lose, if they're wrong, they lose one. I wish in extra innings you wouldn't even if you lose it in the 10th inning, you get it back in the 11th. That's the one nick I would have in the system. I would have said, if you lose it in if you have a challenge left in extra innings, I would say, if you lose it, you lose it. But the ABS system doesn't need to be in place. It's time is the way to go. Definitely gonna go full robot umpires. Umpires are a part of the game. They've been a part of baseball since baseball was invented, God knows how many years ago. But just an ABS system, I think it's needed. Uh, the way to do it. So if human umpires, perhaps some sort of robotic AI replay system. Low will worry about pace of play. They've been trying to fix pace of play for years. With they've put so many things into the game over the last few years, from the pitch clock to the free batter rule to the pickoff limitations and things like that. Try and speed up the game. I mean, thankfully, shouldn't be happening too often. Teams get two, they get two per game. They have to, get it wrong to lose them. However, this is just straight numbers here. In spring training, there was an average of about 4 per game, and they each took 13, almost 14 seconds. So, I mean, if that were to hold for a full regular season, that would only be an extra what? Not even a minute, more, which isn't that much. Again, spring training games aren't as important. Games don't count, obviously, so that's not really a good metric to go by. So hopefully the pace of play thing, that's the one thing I'm a little worried about. If you start getting 8, 10 a game, and to the point where it's taking 3, 4, 5 minutes off the games are a whole like 5 minutes longer on average across the league. I don't think that's good for baseball. That being said, there does need to be an ABS system. Hopefully, it's kind of like the pitch clock. They work out the kinks in spring training, maybe the first week or month of the season, and by the time May comes around, it'll be in full swing. Everyone will have the hang of it, and it won't be a problem. So hopefully, things go smooth with the ABS system. But that's all I got for you guys today. Most likely gonna have game picks tomorrow, so don't miss that. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.